What happened to my NASA files?
Yeah, that's no longer available.
Sorry.
But I bought it.
Section 10, subparagraph 1. Use the terms own, ownership, purchase, sell, rent, or buy in this agreement or connection with account does not mean or imply any transfer of ownership of any content. It's right there in font size 4.
You can't do that. To buy means something.
I'm using the 2025 definition of the word. You're using the 14th century one. And you have the nerve to call me a boomer.
So what was I buying when I clicked buy?
A temporary revocable license to view the contents of the live decided that you spend too much time watching space documentaries. By the way, you should be watching Mark Sargent instead of that NASA junk anyway. Much more grounded.
What if I bought a physical DVD?
But then you'd have to rip it and store it and copy it to all your devices. So inconvenient. We do all that work for you.
Until you erase it, what am I supposed to do now?
Find another streaming service. You lost a TV show and you gained an RPG video game. Pretend you're playing Streaming Quest and be happy.
I want my money back.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
We sincerely thank you for your continued support. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something.
Good afternoon. Aloha from Florida. So I was just sitting out here watching some airplanes fly by. Many of them obviously relatively low altitude, 2 to 3 miles away. Commercial jets usually at a max fly at about 7 to 8 miles away. Private jets can go up to about 50,000 feet, about 10 miles. So whatever it is, 2, 3 miles up to 10 miles, I can still see them. Now the ones that are 7, 8, 9, 10 miles away, I can barely see them. And we are told to believe that we can see the ISS at 253 miles away. All right, let's talk about angular resolution. Angular resolution dictates, it demands that something appears smaller and smaller as it gets further away from an observer. We're not seeing anything 253 miles away, ever. Allegedly, there are hundreds of weather balloons up there right now. Do you ever see one? No. Why not? Because they're 25 miles away. At that distance, you are not seeing them. Why? Because of angular resolution. Angular resolution means that the angles from the object to the observer have now gotten so small that your eyeball can now no longer resolve it. So as something gets farther away, it will eventually converge into a vanishing point where you cannot see it anymore. So learn about angular resolution and how your eyeballs work. Now also, we could talk about the inverse square law of light, that we can see the stars, and they are allegedly light years away. Some of them hundreds of light years, maybe even millions of light years. I don't know. That's just all nonsense. That's a science fiction claim without evidence. That is pseudoscience. It is theoretical. It is hypothetical. It's just pure science fiction. When you look up at the night sky at night, you're looking at the ceiling. Many of the stars appear just about the same size and distance, and they all move in absolute perfect unison. So the inverse square law of light says that light diminishes over distance. I think it's every time you double the distance, the light gets cut in half, the brightness of the light. So check out the inverse square law of light, check out angular resolution, learn more about how your eyeballs work, and learn more about light. I think you'll find that everything that we see in reality confirms or lines up perfectly with our geocentric cosmology, which has been well known, well documented for thousands of years. For more on that, check out our documentary called The Mechanical Realm by Vika Drazev. It's about the Antikythera mechanism and all the beautiful, perfect repeating patterns of the luminaries over our surface for all of recorded history, around our magnetic center, over our flat and stationary surface. So again, The Mechanical Realm by Vika Drazev about the Antikythera mechanism. Have a great day. God bless.
So let me use the Gleason's map to explain how the sun actually works. And it says it right on the map, okay? Now this is where a lot of people show this, but I don't think they explain it too well. Now it says right here, during the June solstice, in the figure, June and December, the white represents the sun's position in its respective months at noon. So the white, you see the sun? That's the sun right there. Okay, that little target. All right, here, let me show you, just in case. See that right there? Now, this is the June solstice. The sun is on that track. So if you look, the center is where it says that N, that's the center. That would be the center right there, okay? Now, do you see the sun? The sun is right there. It's within this first track. So let's go back to the center, and we see now that the sun is within this first track. So the sun is within here, which is why it says that the sun is visible for 24 hours right there at the Antarctic Circle, inside the circle, because the sun circles. And its circle, this is the amount, this is the light, basically, that sun is producing. So as it circles, that light shifts around, okay? Now, when we go into our December solstice, you can see that now the sun, there's your sun, it's no longer within this first track. It's no longer right here. It's actually moved further out. Okay, let's just count the track. So we got 1, 2. So it's all the way out here, which means that the sun, rather than doing its circle within right up here, it's a wider circle and it's going further out, further outward, which is why we in this area get our winters now, because the sun is further away from us. And that's exactly what this whole entire map, like if you buy one of these, just read the bottoms. That's what this is trying to tell you, that during our June solstice, it's a local sun, and there's your sun, and it's closer to the center. So if you live anywhere in here, like I live in North America, okay, so the sun is closer to North America during this time. Now, when it goes further out, that sun, it starts to go further out, okay, and now you're going to have summer out here and winter in there, which is exactly what happens. And that's what this is saying. That's how it works. The sun circles. It's local, and it just circles, just like that. And that explains light and day and time zones and all of it. So I know a lot of you have probably seen this, but I don't think that a lot of people are really showing you exactly what's going on the bottom left and right hand side of the map. They're never really zooming in and showing you exactly where that sun is. So we have a local sun. It's a local sun that lights locally, which explains why. I mean, if you've ever traveled to the United States, I live in New England, all right? My family, my in-laws have a place in Arizona. It's a few thousand miles west, okay? And their time is like when I'm, during our morning, the sun is coming up. It hasn't reached them yet. It takes time to travel that way. And this local sun, flat earth, is the only thing that makes sense. Not this tilting and wobbling on a ball. It's ridiculous. It's so silly. You need magic like gravity to make it work. All right, when there's no such thing as gravity. It's density, buoyancy, weight, mass. Come on. Knock it off. I love you all. This is my opinion based on my research, but you can do your own research. You can go right there if you want to learn more.
Is the sky made of hexagons? The Hunger Games seems to think so. The Marvel Cinematic Universe too. And Chicken Little. And the Vegas Dome. The Vatican Museum ceiling. Harpa Music Hall in Iceland. Even my camera seems to think that the sky is made of hexagons. It definitely seems like it's true, but we always need to test things against scripture. The firmament or the expanse resembles the color of beryl. Here's all the different kinds of beryl. Here's the structure of beryl. It forms a hexagonal lattice. So of course, as soon as I see hexagonal lattice, that's the next thing I'm asking about. Judges says the mother of Sisera looked out at a window and cried through the lattice. Proverbs, for at the window of my house I looked through my lattice. Song of Solomon says, behold, he standeth behind our wall, he looketh forth at the windows, showing himself through the lattice. You're not ready for this curveball. So the book of Enoch says that the crystal of the firmament tessellates. So now I have to wonder if we're in a magnetic, tessellating beehive of beryl. All of a sudden, the ever so mystifying Schumann resonance, or the Earth's hum, makes a lot more sense. Could this be where the lines on constellations are coming from? Its energies seeping through the little cracks while they tessellate? Let me know in the comments.